Peace, fam. Once again, I hope everybody is doing well. I pray that everybody is doing great, and I pray that this reaches you at a time that you can really use it, right? Um, but let's get into it, right? In this video, I'm specifically talking to chosen individuals. All right, I'm talking to the chosen ones. I'm talking to beings of light. I'm talking to those who have been anointed. And when I say that, I'm not referring to say it in a matter that anybody is special in the fact that they're better than anyone. I but what I mean by chosen, what I mean by anointed is that you specifically have a goal or a task that you must complete in order to bring forth God's glory or in order to bring forth God's kingdom. So the title of this video is going to be Chosen Ones versus High Ranking Demons, right? So let's get into it, okay? So if you're chosen, which I'll do a complete video on, like some signs or um, how to tell if you're a chosen individual. And if this video doesn't resonate with you, I'm telling you, you might want to cut it off now um, because it's not for you. Okay, you should feel if you're chosen. You should know if you're chosen. And really, by that, you felt a special calling. You had a certain heart from the time that you were a child that either recently was reignited, or reignited in the recent future. Okay, so basically, if you're chosen, you've been dealing with situations, circumstances, and experiences that shaped you, that were difficult throughout your entire life. Let me repeat that again. For the chosen people, you've been faced with situations, scenarios, and circumstances that have been difficult for you throughout your entire life. The reason being is the moment you came into existence, based on your chart, based on your energy, based on signs, the enemy already knew what God had planned for you. Okay? They already knew from the jump. This can manifest in a lot of different ways. Um, it may manifest in a way that you were almost aborted. Okay? Maybe your parents had something going on or they weren't prepared for the situation that was to come or for you, and you were almost aborted. Okay? Maybe you were born premature. Okay? Maybe you went through some sort of abuse as a child, whether this was physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse. All of these things are initial attacks from the enemy. So from the moment you came into existence, probably even before, right, that you came into existence, the devil knew that you were a warrior in God's army. Okay? Satan knew that you had the potential to destroy his kingdom and bring with you many souls into God's kingdom, into the Most High's kingdom. So you've been facing situations your whole entire life. I'm talking about narcissistic partners. I'm talking about your parents may have passed away. You may not even have been raised by your parents. You may have been raised by somebody completely different. Okay? Because the moment you came in, before you even came in, the devil sent demons towards you to keep you down, to keep your light down so that you wouldn't wake up, so that you wouldn't bring about the energy and the change that you had within you, and you wouldn't start moving the plans that God had for you in your life. Okay? That was early on. Okay? And like I said, it may have been most of your life. And as you're asleep, okay, when you're not awakened, when you're not coming into your power, when you're not seeking God's kingdom, okay, when you're not listening to God, when you're not obeying, this is when you're dealing with demons. Okay, so you may have been dealing with minor inconveniences, minor situation. And it, again, I'm not putting light on those situations. Okay, the reason why I'm saying minor, okay, is because as you become awakened, as you step into your divinity, as you embrace God's calling, you're no longer dealing with demons. When you start to embrace what God has planned for you, when you start to obey, when your energy and your spirit starts to rise, when you start to help other people, when you start to fulfill God's plan, at this point, you're dealing with high ranking demons. And a disclaimer, I should have kind of said this from the beginning, but this can get a little scary for some people who aren't ready for this. All right, so you may want to turn off. And again, if you're not chosen, you don't want to listen to this anyway, because this isn't for you. All right, and you'll know exactly who you are and who I'm talking to as you begin to listen to this information more. All right. At this point, when you begin to get on the journey that God has planned for you, those lower level demons can't do anything. They can't hold you down anymore. So the devil has to send his best. The devil has to send, I wouldn't say anointed, but has to send his highest level generals. Most times, multiple ones at the same time to deal with you. But keep this in mind. Don't get afraid. Don't get discouraged. Because at the end of the day, it's nothing they can really do to harm you. It's nothing that they can do to touch you when you're within God's grace. When you're obeying, when you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you're being obedient, when you are um, seeking the elevation of your spirit over the flesh, is nothing they can do to harm you, but they can do things that, I want to say this carefully, they can try to trick you or deceive you into you doing things that will lower your own vibration, that will lower your energy and keep you from raising up. It's as simple as that. It's not much more they can do from that. But again, these are high ranking demons. These are, let's say, multiple generals. They control multiple armies, attacking you from multiple sides. You just have to sit still. You just have to be obedient. You just have to stay in the word. You just have to continue to pray. You just have to call upon the Most High. You just have to feed your spirit. You just have to deny the flesh. And these beings cannot harm you. But as you notice, when you're following the word, when you're around other people of like character or people who are equally yoked, that's when they attack the most. And they're going to attack from multiple angles. If it's something that you deal with, if it's something that you have been struggling with, or something that you struggled with in the past, they're going to use that. If there's people who make you feel weak, all right? If there's people who make you feel vulnerable, if there are people who lower your self-confidence and lower your frequency, you have to do your best to avoid those people, at least during this time. Okay, at least when you first start awakening, at least until you fully embrace who you are and what you are and you have that discernment, then you may be able to deal with those people just on a little bit, but not on a consistent everyday basis. So if you're in a relationship with somebody who is narcissistic, if you're in a relationship with somebody who abuses you, if you're in a relationship with somebody who lowers your self-worth, you don't want to be with or be around this person. You have to eliminate them. You have to cut them off. Now, sometimes that's difficult with family members because I'm going to say it like this. If somebody is not protected by God, if somebody isn't protected by the Holy Spirit. If somebody does not have the full armor of God or isn't seeking God's kingdom, that's the person that they're going to use to attack you. Other people are going to come too, for sure. So you have to pray for discernment. You have to have your discernment with you for these kinds of situations to not impede what God has for you, because your blessing is right there. Satan knows it. The devil knows it. And you are a danger to that kingdom. So don't get discouraged. Don't get afraid. Don't feel like you're doing something wrong. You're doing everything right. When things start going wrong, typically you're doing something right. And at this point in your journey, you should start having some kind of skills, having some kind of wisdom, to at this point, you're sharpening your skills and you're sharpening your iron, and you should be learning from these experiences. So don't look at it as, oh, it's me. Why are these things happening to me? No, you look at it as, how can I handle these situations? How can I better myself through these trials that I'm going through? What is this teaching me? What is God trying to show me? What is God trying to reveal to me? And usually that message is, you can't do this without me. Typically, that's what that message is. You need me for this. You can't see what is attacking you at this time. So pray. Call on me. Seek my wisdom. Raise up my kingdom. Okay? Sharpen your spiritual gift. Sharpen your discernment. Become wiser. Read the words and the scriptures that I have for you, so that you can elevate and defeat these enemies who think they're attacking you, who think they're doing something. Because at the end of the day, they have no power. They have no power. I try to explain it like this. I hope it makes sense. But see if you can look at it this way, okay? You have, when people do demonic things, okay, when they create an altar, because even with any kind of spiritual system or religious system, you're creating some kind of altar. You're creating some kind of covenant. You're creating some kind of agreement. Don't like to get into this kind of stuff, but let's think about like P. Diddy and his whole case, right? These freak offs, these sexual things. This is lower level entity / demonic activity that they're engaging in. These acts that they promote are like a covenant. It's like an agreement. Okay, you do this, you get this kind of power. All right. You make this kind of agreement with certain beings, you get this kind of power. The reason why the Most High, the reason why God is supreme, is because that covenant is the crucifixion or the death of the Son of the Most High God. Or put it another way, the death of God in the flesh is the covenant. So you got to think about it. The Most High, the most supreme being, the God of all gods, sends his self down in the flesh to be crucified for your sins, to be forgiven. What can really top that? What covenant can top that? And you got to think, at the end of the day, this is altar versus altar when you're facing these spiritual battles. It's not person versus person. So you shouldn't be out pointing fingers at people. If somebody is doing you wrong, you give them grace and you forgive them, because at the end of the day, they don't know what they do. And these people are typically under some kind of demonic influence, whether it's a Jezebel spirit, whether it's some kind of demon, whatever it is, okay? It ain't the person. The person itself would know better, wouldn't go at a chosen one. But these people are overcome by demonic influence. So their assignment is to attack you. They have to attack you. And you should pray for these people, because really, at the end of the day, if they don't complete their assignment, if they can't overtake the chosen one, if they don't do what they were sent out to do, they're going to get rid of that body. Seriously, they're going to get rid of those people. And at that point, they're going to move on to somebody else. So spirits jump from body to body. That's oftentimes when you may end up in a narcissistic or abusive relationship. Somebody who belittles you, talks down on you, or whatever the case is. Then you leave that relationship. Somebody else comes along with that same type of energy, that same frequency. If you don't have discernment, if you're not protecting yourself, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not praying and staying in the Word, you're going to wind up in the same situation, going through the same exact thing. So it's important for you to remember, especially during this time, that as you elevate, there are more attacks that's going to come. And not only are these attacks going to come, they're going to be more severe. But the good thing about it is at this time, you're going to be able to find peace in these situations. You're going to be able to find resolve. You're going to still be able to be joyful as you learn these lessons, because now you have the skills. You have the armor. You have the discernment. You have the wisdom. You have the joy of God flowing through you each and every day, through each and every attack. And as these attacks come through, you're learning more about the enemy. You're learning how to overcome. You're building up your spiritual power. You're building up God's kingdom. You're bringing other people along with you who can travel with you on this journey, who can give you insight, who you can teach. And you can when they can teach you, and y'all can teach each other and grow together. That's what it's all about. So do not get discouraged. Don't think just because you're falling, you're moving forward along your spiritual journey and things start to happen because these attacks are coming, you're doing something wrong. No, you're doing everything right. You're doing everything right. The enemy knows what it is doing and has known what it's been doing for a long time. This is an ongoing battle. This is an ongoing thing. You're going to have moments that it's peaceful and you're calm. You're not facing these kind of battles, right? But when you are, that means that you're on the verge of breaking through to the next level. So don't allow yourself to go down. Don't allow your spirit to be lowered. Continue to advance. Continue to move forward. Let me know in the comments what y'all experienced at this time and if this resonated with you. And if you need any help, any prayers, if things are happening that you don't understand, that you may need a little bit guidance or understanding on, comment below, shoot me a message. Till then, I hope everybody is well. Remain peaceful. Remain calm. Remain steadfast. If this video resonated with you, like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.